Pick the Nintendo Shack and pray. Frederick from Fire Emblem Awakening says, yo.
Greetings, Kooplings, and welcome back to the Nintendo Shack. My name is Donnie Reese, and tonight we record episode 120 of the Nintendo Shack podcast. I hope I got my numbers right. What do you think?
There's some variance there that we are learning after the fact, but it sounds good to me right now, and that's all that matters. Live in the now, Donnie.
That's
Live
it.
in the now.
Tonight we're going to discuss Nintendo and E3 and some possible DLC updates, but before we do, please allow me to say hello to the beloved Jason Lacey. What's going on, man?
Hello, Mr. Donald Reese. How are you? Actually, I'm going to go back to your formal title, Mr. Donatello.
As I say, it's never Donald. It never has been Donald. There's no birth certificate. Let's not go down that road.
I'm good. I'm a good man. I am. I'm doing great. It's a Thursday. That means tomorrow's Friday.
Did I ever tell you that I work from home on Fridays now?
No, I don't think.
I have work from home Fridays.
I have
nice. Telework Fridays, so Thursday's kind of like my Friday. And I got to tell you, I'm excited to be here talking to you because it's been a long week. It's been a long 4 days for me.
How much work do you have to do in that work from home setting?
You'd be surprised, actually. It's funny because
It's not like the Kevin work from home where he's
no,
he's
on Apex at noon. Yeah, no, it's not that. Okay. Typically, actually, one of the part of the deal is I typically get more work done from home than I do from work.
I think people always assume that people are screwing around from home, but many people I ever talk to, that's the same thing because you don't have other people distracting you.
There's no distractions.
And you can just be super focused and just knock it out.
So typically when we've had big special events or something and I've really needed to knock out some things, my boss has always told me to just work from home, because he knows that. It's I'll just put on my headphones and I'll just go for 10 hours. And it's I'll knock out 5 days worth of work in one day. And
you don't have to drive.
Exactly.
30,
I pick up an hour.
30, 40 minutes?
It's 45.
Yeah.
So I pick up an hour on both ends. So, now he's just turned that as a part of he's you just need more dev time. So now that's it.
More dev and Tyus time? We all need a little more dev time.
That would be the good dev time. But greeting Kooplings, let's get on with the show and let's start it we do.
Hello viewers. We're happy to have you here.
Each and every week by thanking those that support us over at patreon.com/PSVG. So thank you so very much to Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh, the Bonesaw, Borboni, Coach Mo, Chris McElfresh, Devin Tyus, Kyle Heyman, Paul Calicote, the new additions, Michael Masick, and the Egg Shin himself, Zach Bradshaw.
I love new patrons.
Oh, who doesn't? It makes you feel like your whole world is better, right? You see that little email notification, it's man, somebody really likes that thing you do. And it's fantastic. So thank you all. Our producers, all of those that help produce the show, whether you be at the note level or the read aloud level or whatever level you do, make sure that you feel appreciated because you guys are making the PSVG house party a thing. And we're about to start unveiling
There's no E3 for the house party.
That's true.
There's a house party.
We selected the E3 to do this, and it's been falling apart ever since we've made that announcement. So at the very least...
It's just going to be a live version of DLC for 3
That's
days,
true.
4 days.
Yeah, and we'll hang out and play. You know what? For every partner that drops a show, that's just more camera time. It's more streaming. That's more things. So I'm not upset with it, to be honest with you, too much. We don't have any host questions. We had a host, poor kaiju guy, Rip Isaac. He was supposed to join the show, and his internet was having really, really problematic internet issues. So that's why we're a little late start today. So it's just Jason and I. Like old times, man. It's just me and you. All intimate. Donnie and Jason.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome.
I got to tell you, I'm a little jealous because you were in rare form on Flux, and then you just rolled over into Sean's stream. You were just going. I was like, listen, look at this guy. He's having like a midlife crisis at home.
Here's the thing. Okay, I had Sans family, so I was just like, you know what? Monday, I'm going to stream for 6 hours, apparently, because that's what I did.
Wow.
And then Tuesday for Flux Suppose, I was like, I'm just going to have a beer and a beer and a beer. And then I'm gonna, I was fueled. I was ready to go. And then Sean's like, "Let's play StarCraft." I said, yes.
Dude, I watched you guys play
play
that.
StarCraft.
That looked terrible. I never want to play
but
that game.
Were you watching Sean's stream or were you watching my
Sean's
stream?
stream and all these
Okay, so
menus
there's-
and like the
well,
font and it's just whoa.
Yeah, but Sean also had this
Whoa.
mod that makes it all cartoony. Looks like an old Flash game from Newgrounds.
Oh, really? Because that's what I was
Yeah.
thinking the game was.
No.
I was watching
so
and I was like, this is the game everybody's excited
There's,
about?
there's
This
a
is
new
it?
mod that they just
Oh.
released for it that came out that makes it all cartoony and crazy looking.
I got you. Okay. So we don't have those questions to get through, but just another plug. We are about a week away from PSVG Shack Drunk Cart Night, Friday, February 21st. So tomorrow I will be out doing the Valentine's thing, as I assume most people will be. But next Friday, come over to the Discord. I'll probably stream. Like it seems like we get more interaction when I'm live, and people
Yeah.
can watch because then more people jump in. But I already see that we have Deuterino, we've got Garrett, Sean, Bad Bits in the chat. So
We're
we're
all
gonna
upset we're not playing Fortnite right now.
so we're gonna do
Clamoring for Fortnite.
we're gonna do the Sean Capri thing where we're just gonna stream live voice channel, and you can come in and talk directly over our stream. So make sure you're there Friday night next week. So without further ado, let's hop into the show. Let's talk about this week in Nintendo. And Jason, I'm not sure if you've seen this or not, but the Reset Era got early access to the ESA's E3 splash page where they listed all the vendors that were going to be there. And Nintendo was not listed.
No, they were not listed.
Game Explained did a video about it, talking about how
Yes.
Nintendo wasn't there. It's got the whole internet abuzz.
Got some clicks. We gotta get some clicks on it.
Oh, they got some clicks, and it's worth mentioning because I think it is important. They've always been included in the first batch. It's like the first batch, Nintendo's always been there. So it's not like this is, like out of the norm or something like that. It's not. This is pretty spot on. So a lot of people are scared. Now, after all this buzz started making its rounds, people started pointing back to this Hollywood Reporter article where Doug Bowser said that they're looking forward to participating in E3. It was basically, he was asked after Sony confirmed that they weren't going to be there, just like Microsoft. Nintendo was asked, and they were like, yeah, we're looking forward to being E3. It's an important thing for the thing, and we're going to do that. Now, it's important to say this. His statement didn't necessarily mean that they were at E3.
Right.
So there still exists a chance that they just they do a direct during E3, but they're not at E3.
Right, because they've always, whenever they've done they've always had separate space that they've always rented out for when they've done the competitions. Those haven't actually been at the same venue, right? Those are always at somewhere close by proximity.
Close by.
So they could
Yeah.
just as easily do a Nintendo Direct watch party thing and do your Splatoon, your Smash Bros, your whatever competitions that you
Sure.
want.
Yep. The quote itself was, Bowser tells THR in an emailed statement, "Every year we base our approach to E3 on the content we have to share. We look forward to participating in E3 2020. Now, okay, so here's really the question. Is why did this happen? Are they not going to be there, or is it just like they haven't paid the bill yet? Like they haven't actually signed up for the floor
Signed up
space?
for it. This might be jumping the gun for what we have, who we have on the table for the show, but I mean, I feel like in this era of technology, everything, I feel like the significance of E3 every year is just kind of gone down.
It's hard not to argue
me.
that. It's like yeah.
And for me personally, that's how I felt about E3 too. I've kind of like, eh. And part of that I'm sure is because I just let's face it, who gives a crap about the PC gamer show that was ever there? Because that was always, bleh.
Poor
But
Lucas.
being just a Nintendo fan in terms of console space, my involvement or excitement there has always been diminished a little bit too. I mean, it's watching the reveals and stuff like that's always cool, but as I've had to go into the workforce and have a family, this and that, I can't stay up until hours and watch all these things. So for my own personal excitement went down, but I just feel like as a whole, the purpose of that trade show, that event, is not as significant as it once was. Before, when communication wasn't at the level it was thanks to technology, we had to have this one thing to help get everything out there and to sell to the media and to, the public was never allowed until, what was that, 6 years ago, 7 years ago? I can't remember when they made that switch. So, it's
That leak said this year they're selling press badges. Do you see that?
no
They're $1,000. So there's public tickets, But then there's like advanced, like better tickets, like elite tickets. And those tickets are basically like press tickets. So you get in early with all the other press folks before the public. But it's like $1,000, which, to be honest with you, I don't really like hate. Like, if somebody has the money to do that and they can
to increase your patronage, everyone, just
yeah, let's go fund me. Let's get Sean in there early. You know, like, let's do that.
let's do a Kickstarter for Sean.
Now, your point is correct. My stance has not, will not change on E3. So I feel like I'll be a broken record, so I'll just say it quickly. I believe in E3. I believe it reverberates the message of everyone. I don't like the defense and the justification that Sony fans gave Sony for pulling out. Like, I understand all the reasons why they would, right? Like, I get it. The biggest reason is, in today's landscape, like, you don't have to share the spotlight. You get your own spotlight. Why share it with Nintendo, right? I get that. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I think when they're all there, the spotlight is brighter than ever. Like, it's brighter then because they're all there, even than when they do it on their own. Like, even if they can do enough on their own, it's still not, it's not E3. It's not the same scale. I think when they're all there, a high tide raises all boats. Like, that message, that echo chamber that drum beat starts to bang louder. I think more people pay attention to it. And I think the only real evidence that I need to even prove this is just look at E3's influence over the years. I mean, just think about how big E3 has been to this industry for 2 decades?
Yeah.
Well,
yeah. Longer than that, even, I think, right? Like,
and I realize that it's not, the show where you go and convince Walmart to buy 1 million copies of Doom. Like, I get that. But at the same time, what it does for the industry in terms of goodwill and excitement and ramping up enthusiasm, for the products and the publishers, and shining a spotlight for indie developers and lesser known projects, and being able to like put all that in there, like, you're just getting the eyes that if we all do our own separate things on every Friday and Thursday and all across the year, like, all of it starts to fall through the cracks. At some point it does. Nobody can watch them all. It just can't be done.
You still kind of get like all the separate, you kind of get like the state of, I hate to bring this as a reference point into this conversation, but you get like the state of politics in this country, where everyone just sits in their own camp and it's just pro their own whatever, and they're only going to beat that drum. But when you have everything together and you can get some crossover, you get some people that wouldn't necessarily be excited for Microsoft or Sony to be like, that's really cool and that's awesome, and you get that common brotherhood of gaming and the love for the hobby, where I
think all of us to have podcasts, to have friends that know that we have podcasts and things like that. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think we all probably have that moment where that casual gamer that we all know and love, that we all talk about to defend our argument points, that fan, that friend of yours that knows you're into it, around summertime, they probably walk up to you and they go, hey, so what happened at E3? Like, what's the big thing? Like, that's where that casual, like, water cooler conversation starts to happen. And sometimes we have to unplug and realize that while there are millions of us on Twitch and YouTube, that there are millions more that aren't. And we can't always be like, we just put up a live stream and do it ourselves. It's like, that's not everybody.
Right.
And by doing that big thing, because it's worth mentioning in the news, not that I won't get into it, I'm sure PSVG will, Jeff Keighley's not going either. So, like, he was YouTube gaming, for like years. It's like, he just basically was the YouTube channel around the clock during E3, which is insane. So, man, it's interesting. Rebecca asks, what's the future of E3? With controversies, so many big names dropping out, do you think Nintendo will stick with them for the upcoming years?
I mean, I don't know.
My biggest question is, to answer that question, I'd like to ask another question. I think I asked this to the Xbox Drive. If Sony stays away, let's say they create their own thing and it becomes a hit. If Sony has their own popular thing, are Nintendo and Xbox important enough in the industry to carry E3 by themselves? Can they do it alone? Because if the answer is no, then I think the show goes away. Or becomes, not goes away, changes from what we know it today and becomes a fan expo or something.
Like, if the big three stop doing it, I mean...
Well, and then the reason I say, like, if PlayStation does their own thing, right? And some third, like Call of Duty goes there, You see where I'm going? Madden goes there because they're the market leader. The best indie games go there. Are the leftovers, plus Ubisoft, because EA's basically already left.
Wait. Where is Devolver Digital going? That's all that matters.
I mean, as long as Devolver Digital's there, they will have 2 viewers, and myself and Devin that are watching that show. Yeah, but like the question is, can they do it by themselves? Like, can Nintendo and Xbox do it? And I think they can, but it probably comes at a cost that like the ESA probably has to.
Yeah.
The amount of money that the ESA made on this trade show 10 years ago is going to lessen, right? Like they can't, because that's the thing that everybody was the thing I always talk about. Everybody always like defends. These companies are like, well, they got to save money. It's about the money. Like, why are they going to pay all the money? And I talked about that in my Discord. I hate that argument. I hate when I hear people say that. Why do we care? Why are we out to defend their argument? It's like people are like, well, why would, I'm going to say PlayStation.
Really a concern?
I'm not throwing a stone at PlayStation or anything. So PlayStation fans don't get angry. I'm just going to say it as an example. Why would PlayStation pay the ESA to have a stage show and they just do it themselves? It's like, I don't know, because they make billions of dollars every year. Like, why are we?
Because it's a tax write-off.
They're like, it costs like $10 million. I'm like, okay, what is that in their quarter? Didn't Xbox just make like $11 billion this quarter? Like, come on. It's like, I understand maybe wanting a point to say something, like you having a point just to say something, but we're customers. And I was talking to Garrett about this in the Discord earlier this week, and it was like, well, is there any other like analogy where people defend like the rich not spending the money? Because I was thinking like the direct analogy is like sports. You know how angry sports fans gets when the owner lets the high price free agent leave and they don't spend the money to win? There's nobody like, hey, look, he owns the Browns. He needs to save some money. Like that guy's going to cost like $10 million. Nobody gives a crap. But it's interesting how kind of the shoe is on the other foot with game fans. And I think it's just because we just love these companies. So we love the product these companies make so much.
I think it's on the reverse though too. I think each one of these 3 could easily, like, for instance, we've had QuakeCon has been its own thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Forever. And it's obviously not no E3, but I mean each one of these we could, the PlayStation experience could easily be a multi-day celebration.
I don't know if people can handle Devin, Haley, and Delve multiple days, like just on in around. That's too much, man.
Microsoft could do something, and like if there was like a Nintendo centric themed multiple day thing.
Apparently, they're doing it in airports now. Did you see that?
People, and I did see that. You can't tell me Nintendites in droves would not come out.
Well, I think there's probably a Nintendo Shack there in the archives where you and I were like, why don't they just take all these demos and put them at all the Best Buys and let us go and do it?
Yeah.
And I think we all say this. Why doesn't everybody just post all of their demos and like make it a celebration across the world? It's like, hey, the Last of Us demo that everybody's playing today, you can play at home right now by going and downloading it on your PlayStation 4. Like, why isn't that more of a thing? And I think it will become that. I actually do. I think E3 is less about the ESA and more about like the time of the year that it is. Right, so like everybody may leave that stadium and they may not deal with the ESA anymore, but I do think there's value in like maybe the big 3 having one of those stage moments where they all get together and like maybe just entering like a pact, like a treaty. It's like, look, every year from June 15th to the 20th, we're going to do some digital announcements. We're going to unveil some new games and we're going to put some new demos on the eShop and we're going to run a sale. Right, like it just makes a lot of sense for them to keep doing it. I would hate to see that go. And like, because here's the thing, like, and I think we see this, especially the more digital we go, and you see even with like streaming things, right? It's going to become less about the companies and more about the publisher, and then less about the publisher and then more about the games. So it's not going to be, everything Nintendo, everything Xbox, every PlayStation. It's going to be everything. It's going to eventually become everything EA, everything Ubisoft, and then it's going to stop from there, and it's just going to be, hey, this is Call of Duty all day today. We're going to talk to you about 8 hours about Call of Duty. And the next day, it's Battlefield. We're talking to you. It's going to be every single game. And at some point, like you're just drilling down to the hardcore fans and you're missing swaths of people.
Deuterino just nailed it. I don't know if you read his comment, but that's gold. Nick Cage, Danny DeVito, and Brendan Fraser. That's going to represent the big 3.
They all should send like consiglieres. Like it should be like a representative at like a table. If they live streamed it, if they did that as a joke, that'd be amazing. But yeah, I mean, I would love to see something digital like that where they actually make you a part of the experience. They don't even have to call it E3. Call it the Summer Showcase of Video Games or something. You sure. Am I making my point right? It's like,
Yeah, I think,
it's not that I'm so tied to E3. It's like I love the spirit of E3 and I want that to live on.
I mean, do you think too, like the prominent, like look at, I would say the prominence and the effect of something like the Game Awards, where I feel like a couple years ago it was more of a like, this is kind of dumb.
That's true, but this year it was like a smashing hit.
And it's evolved every year, and I think it's become more important and bigger each year, just because with the recognition and like the acceptance, but also they were getting more and more reveals,
better, bigger reveal. Exactly.
And so is it because of the results of something like that that's making these other events, all of a sudden.
That's a very good point. Maybe the Game Awards is the new E3. I mean,
and we're going to see something. Is there going to be other events or things like that happen? That's going to be.
I just feel like the timing is best in the summer as we prepare for fall. I know not everything lands in the fall, but it's still, I mean, Nintendo, right? They just sold like billions and billions of Switches and games. Like the fall is still the money spending. That's the money making season. So I still like that prep into. Plus in the summertime, like typically we don't get a whole lot of games that drop in like June, July, and August, right? Typically.
Yeah.
The summertime, it kind of pops interest. It's like, hey, you remember those video games, those things, I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
Do you think, like, going back to the whole, Jeff Keighley statement, do you think, part of it was with what happened last year with them releasing.
Doxing everybody's phone numbers and stuff.
I mean, what
do
else
we have.
Let
me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do we have any, were there any incidents or reports of anybody actually, death threats or, does anybody actually harmed at this? Or is this a lot of people just really, I'm not saying that their point is invalid, but just screaming to make a point? Because
I think, I can't say that I personally ever saw any, follow-up. Were there any ill
It might just be naivety on my
point. But I think
point.
it's just, still the risk that your information's out
my
there.
address is on Google, man. You can Google where I live, and I get it. These people are more popular. I guess they have some sort of influence, but I don't know.
I don't have any money, so if my info is on the dark web, you're not going to come out on top at all. You can have some debt. Congratulations.
You pay my bill.
I don't even have a good gamer score. So
if you could swing that student loan payment for me, that'd be great. No, and I get it, but I also think they made changes, right? Like this year is like a super secure platform and stuff like that.
You would think so.
Yeah, of course. All right, so ultimate point. Don't fret. It appears that Nintendo would be there. I think the ultimate point I'll take away is I honestly think they just haven't put their plans together. It's about that time of year that they kind of announce it. So maybe they're waiting to join the website to do maybe we'll get Bowser Fizemech.
I mean, isn't the time of the year where they should be announcing a lot of things,
Oh,
Donnie?
don't do that.
Shouldn't there be a lot of things getting announced right now? I have grievances, Donnie.
I wish Bowser would do funny things like Fizemech.
Fizemech was the best.
Fizemech was the best.
And the laser beam. So what about Mother 3?
That was so good.
All that
so
stuff.
Good. I expect Nintendo will
the
be.
watch thing.
Yeah.
So
I would expect Nintendo to be at E3. I expect them to be there. I expect them to do it. I expect them to be on the show floor. But we'll see if they're not. But I think they will be. I think this is just it's worth it. There's all that list was only 10 deep. There's tons of publishers and stuff that weren't on that list. So
and I mean it is it was leaked, correct? Is that how? I mean,
yeah, they got in before it went live.
So maybe it's clearly not
subject to changes. And Game Explain did post a correction, so not to slam them too hard. They totally went.
When we're speculating and so many things are up in the air and there's nothing formal, that's what we do. We grasp at straws and come up with conclusions and escalate them into ridiculous facets.
Last week we talked about this rumor that's been going around about the big holiday game having wheels, and the whole Mario Kart speculation has been going on for a while. And we started talking about it in Discord, and I really liked where the conversation was going. So I told Jared, I was like, you know what, we're just going to bring this back to Shaq and talk about it again.
I've got a revelation.
Ooh.
It's a new stunt race game.
Be hyped. Be hyped. That's
stunt
awful.
Race Switch.
It's a Labo game, is what it is. It's like.
Oh God. I mean, is that done? Is that just end of the road for that?
I think so. I mean, I think you'd have to think after the sales that Ring Fit Adventure would replace that. I was actually going to ask that. Do you think we'll get a Ring Fit Adventure 2? Like, you almost have to. It sold 1 million copies.
It sold a lot. And
Yeah.
look at our echo chamber. Like
Maybe
everyone's into
you
it.
steer the wheel while you're doing squats
If
and stuff.
I had a TV set up, if I wasn't playing on a monitor that doesn't have an audio out, I would probably look into getting Ring Fit because you got Kevin taking sweaty pictures, Lucas taking sweaty pictures, Kyle's going to take sweaty pictures, Dev wants to take sweaty pictures. Who doesn't want to take sweaty pictures with those
Girls,
kids?
apparently. It's a lot of dude meat in this conversation.
A lot of dude sweat. I mean,
So I wanted to talk about, not necessarily the rumor where we believe it or not. We already talked about that. But I wanted to ask you, let's just assume it is Mario Kart. All right, we talked about this a little bit.
yeah.
What is it that what do you think they can do to Mario Kart to make it better? Like, what's
Did we have a question that was kind of talked about this too? I thought at some point someone had asked us. I don't remember. Either way, we have to have we kind of got to steal from the whole Smash Bros. Thing. We got to go ultimate with it.
Ultimate.
What I would love to see
Kart Ultimate?
is if you have tracks, like let's say we remaster tracks
Okay.
from any of the series, you push a button and you can switch on
And
the
it's
fly
retro.
to yes.
So you
to
want the
older
Halo
versions.
Master Chief Collection of Mario Kart?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Like let's say I'm playing on.
But do like the
Mario's-
models switch too, or do you have like the new the character models,
no,
old
character
carts,
switch, everything switches.
everything, the whole thing?
Yeah. It would have the modern Mario Kart gameplay.
So it
But
still
also-
plays well,
Yeah, but also you could be playing in the Super Mario Kart sprites.
like 2D.
Yeah.
How do that?
I don't know.
I so badly would like. How
I'm
does
not a
that?
programmer.
How does that play on like looking on those old courses? You know, because
I don't know.
I think it plays terribly. Like it plays
I'm just
not
trying
like
to
it
get your
plays
money.
well,
I'm
but
just
it's
trying- I'm
boring.
just trying to get your money.
I got
off your
you.
nostalgia.
I got you. Okay. My initial reaction is, and you've probably heard me say this before, it's block for it. You give me HD remastered block for it, and I will buy the game. They actually could probably just release Mario Kart block for it. I would buy that. I would actually buy that. That's how badly I want that mode to come back. That said,
I don't
like
think I've played battle mode since that one night we had that really big cart night.
That cart night?
The first one of the first drunk cart
it's
nights.
not as good. It's not as good as the old battle mode, you know? So I like the path you're going with the Kart Ultimate. I would love for them to have different racing modes. So obviously battle mode with legit battle maps. That would be the first part of it. What if there was like Kart Battle Royale, which is kind of like what they had with like the balloons anyway, but just more racers. Like you drop everybody into block fort, and it doesn't have to be 100, right? But if you drop 40 people into block fort and you just let them have it until there's one standing. Like I love that idea.
I don't think you're ever going to win because of skill. You're always going to
Oh,
win
who
just-
cares?
all right.
It's Mario Kart. Who cares? This
I think
isn't
we should
Smash.
definitely put Shovel Knight and Isaac from Golden Sun as characters just to piss people off from all the Smash ballot stuff.
So I like that idea. Do some modes. I love the idea of making a double dash return. Not in the thing, but in spirit. So you can play Grand Prix, but then you can play Grand Prix Double Dash, where you get new carts, pair teams, different battle modes, same tracks, same stuff, all the other
What
stuff.
about if we actually like open it up too, and it's not just you get your Grand Prix and you get your modes, but you actually have like some sort of story content
Narrative?
somehow for yes,
A little
Think
campaign?
of like kind of like what they did with tennis. You know how they had. I thought that was somewhat enjoyed by people. I never played it. Okay, so
I
judging by
did.
your reaction, it
Wasn't
wasn't good.
so
Okay,
happy.
It wasn't
Nah.
good. All right.
I'd rather
Okay,
have like
how about what Diddy Kong Racing did then?
that's better. Okay. That's more like, yeah, Diddy Kong Racing, Crash Team Racing. Yes. I'm following you there. I would be more apt for like loot and customization. Give me all kinds of stuff that I can do. Give me stickers I can put on my car, change the wheels, change the hubcaps, change the steering wheel, do all that stuff. Give me costumes like Mario Golf World Tour It, where I have a lot of customization, more than like your standard.
Yeah.
Here's your 16 cars, 16 wheels, and 16 gliders. Like,
Yeah.
let me go crazy with it.
I'd like to see like instead of just how they have the tournament options and multiplayer, like have something where you could have like a giant like I hate to reference this, but like NASCAR type.
Ooh,
Big,
like
like, you
a
have-
roto like standard, like
Yes.
something that like goes for like a month or something. You get like
and
points.
and you have points, and then you have a points leader,
Ooh.
and you can have someone like you.
I love that
you know,
idea.
Have like this big a season, and
Seasons, yes, Yes, seasons. That kind of, yes, that's great. That's really good stuff. I was going to ask you from a multiplayer side, what do you think they could do? Tournaments would be good. I don't know how you do it, by elimination or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, seasons are really good with Battle Pass, where they drop like a little new extra content every now and again and you can play.
Yep.
That's really, really good. I'd be all in for that. I think we all would be. So I don't know. We'll see if this gets announced or something.
The Formula One treatment or something.
I'm a little excited.
300cc.
More, dude. What was the one that was it 200?
200.
That was too fast for me. I was flying off everywhere. I was like, oh god.
It's tough. It's very tough.
It's like I need more drift, more brake control.
I have to say, I couldn't do it on the Wii U, but on the Switch, when I got the trophies on every CC and everything, that was like, yes, okay.
Oh yeah,
good.
Yeah, I did that on Wii U too. What if they did? And I don't think they will, but just throwing it out there. What if they did like a Forza thing, where it's a shared world? You drop into a shared world lobby with your own Mii character that you customize, and you actually race around to events.
Dude, anything that makes me significant still. I love the Miis.
I do love the Miis too.
I don't want Miis to go away.
Yeah. No, I love that idea. You get dropped in a little Mario Kart world, and there are events. There are races. They're like hub races, battle races. There's collectibles, things to go find, unlock new kart customizations.
That would be cool. You drive around, like you can just drive around the Mushroom Kingdom and stuff. Yeah.
That's good. Right? There we go, guys. We fixed Mario Kart. Not that it needed fixing, but it's exciting. I know a lot of people are talking about it. I'm very excited to see if it is Mario Kart. I wrote this down. Assuming it's kart related, I'll totally buy it because I really don't want it to be a tank game or Steel Diver or something with horseback. Something horse racing related.
I just don't. Yeah, I don't know anything else with wheels that plays a significant role in Nintendo. That is a big
look at Garrett. Garrett in the chat providing the segue for the show notes as he writes that and Animal Crossing microtransactions Nintendo would make bank. And then let me go to our next news story this week in Nintendo. Could Animal Crossing New Horizons get DLC or microtransactions? According to the ESRB rating on the New Horizons eShop, the title contains, quote, in-game purchases, although it's unclear whether this could take the form of microtransactions or some sort of DLC expansion in the future. Now, there's a lot been said about games being required to do this if they ever have any sort of plans in the future and all this stuff. But
right.
Again, I'm not the biggest Animal Crossing fan, but I think I've said this for a long time now. Animal Crossing is the perfect, in my opinion, games as a service game. Not just for Nintendo. Like, I think it's the perfect version of that game. So you can give me all the Fortnite and all of the the Destiny you want, Animal Crossing. This makes all the sense in the world for Animal Crossing to adopt this. I don't know if that studio has the chops to crank out the kind of content to do something like that. And we've never seen Nintendo really want to get into that kind of space. So I'm not saying I expect them to do it.
Yeah.
But what I am saying is I can absolutely see a world where 6 to 8 months after Animal Crossing comes out, we get an expansion with like a new island or a new town that you can visit, or a new multiplayer thing, or here's the thing, seasonal events. Here's this, but like in Animal Crossing, we've had seasonal events, but it's always the same seasonal event because it's based on the calendar. I'm talking about custom tailored like Battle Pass seasons. Like, hey, this winter collection is coming, and if you go over here to this island, you can pick up this Christmas ornament that you can only get for the next 2 months, right? If they did that kind of stuff, and if they ever did any licensed stuff, like the Frozen collection comes to Animal Crossing, I see a world where that stuff happens and people just $2 left and right, constantly making their town look amazing.
I would have to think it had to be something like that. I don't see any, like, are they going to go, hey, for $5 USD, you can get X number of bells? Like, I don't see
no.
Nothing like that.
I don't like that idea.
I don't see them locking, like, specific furniture sets, behind you. But, like, yes, like, partnered content like this, or, like, actual expansion like content where like different regions of an island or different.
Why wouldn't they? I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to them doing like exclusive paid content for furniture sets or item patterns or clothing patterns or anything like that. Like, I mean, if you don't want to pay, you don't have to. It's just skins. It doesn't really affect the game at all.
I got it. There's going to be a DLC pack. Old Tortimer comes, picks you up, right?
Yeah.
Go on a boat. He drops you off on another deserted island with 50 other villagers, and only one walks out.
It's the Hunger Games.
It's Animal Crossing.
Hunger Games?
Yes, sure.
I love that idea. You just walk around and hit each other with a shovel until one walks out.
Fortnite, Animal Crossing, the event no one saw coming.
No, I just think the Animal Crossing fans, as rabid as they are, I think they would eat something like that. And I think Animal Crossing, the game, is one that's meant to be played over long periods of time. It's not meant to play games like I play games. You don't play Animal Crossing for 30 days and put it down. Play Animal Crossing over years at a time.
Yeah.
So for them to constantly revolve out that content and keep refreshing it and making it better, they have to like the exclusive stores and stuff that just popped in that they just brought in. Like, hey, I was thinking Mario Golf World Tour. They had like Nike and like Mercedes and stuff like that. Callaway came into that, and you could buy stuff like that. I was thinking, like, what a great opportunity in Animal Crossing.
Mario Golf. Gosh, I want Mario Golf. Can we get that on Switch?
Animal Crossing Golf. It has wheels. You get like carts. Like that's the rumor.
You get to make your own golf course.
I mean, I'd play it.
I know you.
I'd play the shit out of that game. Are you crazy? Animal Crossing like golf course customization? Oh man. I'd be more excited than Animal Crossing fans.
Win turnips, and then sell the turnips.
That's good. That's real good. So yeah, maybe something like this happens. I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. I'm sure there'll be a direct here in the next week or two, and we'll find out all the news we need to know about Animal Crossing and how they're going to roll this out. But I'd actually see, like, there's a part of me, maybe I'm overstating it, but I have a strong idea in my head where, like, the vision that I have, I see Animal Crossing just printing money. Like endless amounts of money if done well. And it doesn't even have to be all like exclusionary or like intrusion. It doesn't have to be malicious.
Yeah.
Like just come up with cool, awesome stuff. Like, hey, this is look at this Samus shirt that just arrived to the shop today and 50 cents.
Right.
That's kind of stuff because like they kind of do it in Smash, but it's so limited where that stuff would matter so much more in Animal Crossing.
And there's so many people that are probably still playing New Leaf and still playing probably older versions of Animal Crossing. I think we're going to see a huge uptick once this game comes out.
I think if the value was if it was well designed, right, and the value was like, quarter, 50 cents, 75 cents, dude, left and right, one after the other. Think of like themes, like on the 3DS system, right? Like you had all those themes that you could have, and I bought a lot of them. Like if they did that kind of stuff for your island and you could do, dude, it prints money. I would buy it, and I wouldn't even be mad at them. Jason, 5 new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online. Poppin' Twinbee, Smash Tennis, Shadow of the Ninja, and Eliminator Boat Duel.
I'm gonna. My buddy just texted me. My buddy actually lives like 5 minutes from my house. He texted me 2 hours ago. Hadn't heard from him in a bit because he's been feeling under the weather. These SNES/NES games suck. End quote.
I played Shadow of the Ninja, and I've never played any of these other games.
I've never heard of any of these games.
Oh, you never heard of Shadow of the Ninja?
I don't think so. Maybe I have. Let me look it up. Which was that? NES or Super Nintendo?
NES. And I think it was, I think I have it on a ROM emulator with like the Wii Shop.
Let me see if I've seen it. Doesn't look...
I thought this was like a game that you would have been aware of, because I was all like, I know this one. And you're like, I don't. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever played this.
Huh.
Don't think
Okay. Well, to be honest with you, I just know it. Like, I don't think it's particularly memorable, or I'm not fond of it or anything like that. I just know what it is. It was like the one game in this list. I was like, oh, I know that game. I couldn't draw you what Poppin' Twinbee is. I have no clue.
This looks like poor man's Ninja Gaiden.
That's probably true. That probably makes a lot of sense. That probably makes a lot of sense. All right, so that's the news this week in Nintendo. So, Jason, let's talk about what we're up to. And I would like to start off by saying that last night I stayed up and I played the very first chapter of Fire Emblem Cindered Shadows, or whatever. The DLC expansion just came out, the Ashen Wolves.
Sharing some pictures of that.
Ooh, Constance is one of the new arrivals, and I really like Constance. She's like my favorite Fire Emblem 3 character.
That's your new bae.
I think it is. Yeah, I think that's my new character. And you know what it is? It's just the voice. I'm not particularly enamored with the model or anything like that, but she's very enthusiastic like voiceover, like it's just kind of like bang. I was like, man, like, yes, that's fun. It's not bland, it's like more exciting. So, yeah, it's definitely in there. That first chapter, and this is the first one, Jason, like the very first one, like getting back into the game, it's tough. like I lost a few units. I was like, oh, ow, whoa, what's going on here? So, if anybody's getting the DLC, bought the expansion, and getting into this weekend, let me tell you that I would encourage you to play defensively. Now, I'm also not the strategery master either, so maybe you're better at me than the game. But my first takeaway from the first one is like so I got caught in a couple of corridors where there were enemies that I couldn't hit that were like just planted to like take out a unit or two. Like you almost have to play some sacrifice game. And I'm sure there's somewhere online that does it, the opposite way. But if you're going to go like forward the linear path, like you're going to have to play a little sacrifice to get there. So it was pretty tough little chapter.
Part of me like says maybe one day I'll give.
Does this conversation happen every time we talk about Fire Emblem? I think we've talked about this all the way back to like Fates.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I did actually have 3 houses from the library. I did play it for like 20 minutes, and then I got through the tutorial, and I was like, okay, I'll go back to it, and I just never wanted to go back to it.
That's okay.
I just don't. I think the city. I mean, the school and the relationship management stuff is just not going to be something that's for me. And I know you can automate some of that, but I don't know.
Garrett says that's his secret. He always plays defensively. And I mean, that's smart, but everybody knows me, right? You saw me play Anthem. You guys see me play shooters. I'm a brawler, man. Let's get in there and let's mix it up. So I'm just charged with Edelgard. She's got the big shield, all the armor. It's like, come at me, bro. Let's trade. Let's switch hands. Let's throw. Let's see who stands at the end of this.
Throw some hands?
Spoilers. Your people don't. Like, they lose. So it's not the best strategy because you get popped pretty quick. It's like, oh, snap. These dudes are strong. Because it was kind of, I actually made the mention of it because in the main game, and it should be mentioned, this is completely standalone, whole separate menu, everything.
Okay.
So you can play this from the start, or you can play the game and then come back. You can play this whenever you want. It's completely standalone content. It does have story spoilers, so I wouldn't recommend that you do it from the start. But here's the thing: in the main game, you can grind up. I know Caroline and I, after all of our talks, we both do this constantly. I'm always kind of like grinding up. I'll do all the little ancillary missions because I don't. Like I love Fire Emblem, but I really play Fire Emblem for the cutscenes and the characters and stuff like that. I don't want to be all stressed out, people dying left and right, like that's not what I play the game for. So I always go into most maps, if possible, OP, overpowered. And I just want to wreck folks, just one hit folks, left and right, throwing you away like you're nothing. You got nothing on my team.
Get out of here, kid.
This game doesn't, or this side story doesn't let you do that. All the character models, like all the characters, all the classes, everything's locked. So you go in at the level they want you to, so it's a challenge.
Oh, so you have to rely on your strategery.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. So it was fun.
Garrett Bland style. I got it.
Mm-hmm. I played Sonic Team Racing last week after Shaq. Speaking of all the kart racers, I don't like that one as much.
But why?
I got it for Jack for Christmas, and we hadn't really played it. And it was like, I think I shared it and shit. It was like $15, something like that. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And because I really liked the Sonic Team Racing on Wii U and 360 and PlayStation 3, the one you could fly, and it was like Diddy Kong Racing. I thought that one was really fun. It was good. This one is different, which I will give it kudos for. It is a kart racer, but it's different than Mario Kart and Crash Team Racing. It's like team based, almost like Formula One, like NASCAR. Like you go in with like a squad, and your entire squad's finishing impacts your ability to move on, like how many stars you want and all that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, that part. The power-ups are different, but, it's Sonic Team Racing, which is to say it doesn't feel like Mario Kart. And when you play Mario Kart, as long as we have, I think anytime you get into kart racer, it doesn't feel quite tight, kind of feels off. And I really miss all the extra stuff that I could do. Like I said before, when this game was announced, I said it. So it's bad, I'm judging the book by its cover. I miss being able to fly and boat and all that stuff. I thought those levels were grand. I thought it was a really cool experience, and this is just kind of kart racing. It's kart racing with Sonic, and it's got its own different feel. It does have like a little overworld map, kind of reminds me of like Mario Bros. U, where you go from like level to level, and you can earn stars to unlock the next level. You can go in different paths, but it just kind of feels, it's not. I don't want to demean. It's not a bad game. We played it for a couple hours. Actually had a little fun. It's fun. It's a kart racer. If you can get it on the cheap, I would.
Yeah.
But it's a filler, middling type of game.
Yeah.
I
mean, I applaud you for trying, but it's like after Mario Kart, I can't play anything else. I mean, CTR was a different thing. I think that was at its time. It was.
I still love it.
I've played
like 30 or 40 hours of CTR this year.
Wow. I mean, let's face it. I played a lot of Brawl Out, but that was because Smash Brothers was on Switch.
There you go. So
there's no other
you know
platform
what?
fighter that comes close. I've tried quite a few, and I don't like any of them.
Sega Team Racing, the Brawl Out of kart racers like that. That's very, very fitting. The other game that I played, Jason, is Hypercharged Unboxed.
Yes, what is this? What is this?
All right. Did you ever play like any of the Army Men games?
No, I'm
back on like GameCube and stuff like that, or like Battalion Wars.
I never played them.
All right, so this is a first person. I was like, first and foremost, this is a first person shooter.
Is this that one that there was the Twitter competition, like the giveaway or something like that?
I don't know, man. I bought this game because it's a first person shooter. It's a horde game. It's a team. It's a wave based tower defense.
Oh yeah, okay.
So, but you play as toys. So it has that Army Man.
What is that movie? Small Soldiers.
Very much. Yeah, very much Small Soldiers. The game. So you can play a solo or you can play multiplayer. I have not had the chance, or do I know anybody else that has the game to play multiplayer in it? But what I would say,
tower defense. Okay.
What I would say is, if you ever get a chance to buy this game, I would very much like to play it with friends because I think it'd be a lot of fun. I think it'd be more fun playing with friends than by yourself. Because here's the real
visually it looks.
It stands up.
Bad.
It's pretty good. Yeah. It's an indie game. I think it's made by like a handful of guys. It's like the team's like 5 or 6 deep. It's pretty small. When I was looking, I mentioned that I was looking forward to this game like a month ago. So like I looked it up like a month ago, so my details might be a little shady. I think it's like 4 or 5 guys that made this game. All right, so here's what I really, really like about it.
Interesting.
The levels are really, really cool. You play like in the bedroom, you play in like the sandbox. There's one that's like Toys R Us, and it's literally like you see shelves of like board games and stuff around you. But here's the cool thing, Jason, is the levels have verticality. So think of it, you're like a 6-inch action figure on the ground of a bedroom floor. I made it all the way up to where I was on top of the door. Like the door was open, and I got on top of the little door frame and was walking along the door frame. Because here's the cool thing, right? So it's a wave-based. You get a little timer. Here's when the next wave comes. In between the wave, you have to make defenses. If you scatter around the level and you start climbing up the blanket and over the bed and under the computer and over the tower and over the keyboard and all that, you'll find coins that you can use to buy upgrades and perks, for the next map.
So you want to like explore the map, essentially, to try to get...
The coins also let you deploy resources. So you can deploy walls or turrets and bombs and things like that for the waves to crash into. Walls, you can build like castles.
What is the wave trying to attack or destroy?
Towers. There are 3 towers that are... And this is why I would like to play multiplayer. Because there are these 3 towers. They are not close to each other. They're on all separate sides of the room that you have to defend at all times. And the further I got into the game, because I've probably played through the first 6 levels, the first, like, there at least you unlock... I say it's the level. It's not like a campaign. It's more like you unlock the next map. So I've played through like the first 6 maps. When you unlock... As you get later on, it's hard to defend on multiple fronts just by yourself. And I think they do a little decent job. Like the waves typically focus on one point, but you're always like running from point to point to point. Whereas if I had 2 or 3 people in the lobby with me, we could all split a point. It's like, hey, you take red, I'll take blue, you take green, and let's all defend our, let me know if you need help. Yeah. The guns are cool. As you explore the level, you can find upgrades for your guns. You can get like more ammo, more capacity, more damage. You can get a scope. You can find power-ups to like let you jump and that kind of stuff, which is cool. Also, when your towers get taken down, like they have shields, right? And the shields are charged by batteries. And when the shields go down, you can actually find batteries, like little Duracell batteries in the level, and you carry them back to the tower and you plug them in and you get new shields to keep going.
Wow, okay.
It's $20, $19.99.
That was my question, because I see it's $19.99 on Steam, so I just assumed it was more on Switch.
$19.99 on Switch. I think it's a pretty good first-person shooter. I really say that probably as like on Switch. There are not a lot of first person, like it's not Doom. It's not Call of Duty. It doesn't feel like that.
But it's not competitive at the same time either. It's cooperative, so that's kind of nice.
Exactly. The one thing so it has gyro, but only when you're aiming down the sights. And when I first played, my gyro was like way off. Like I had to tone down the sensitivity on the light, and I think I had to up the sensitivity when I was playing on the TV on the Pro.
Okay.
Because it wasn't, it wasn't like 1-to-1. It didn't feel good. Like the settings seemed a little out of whack. But there's a lot of verticality. There are like ramps and jump pads, so you can like hit something, go flying off into the air, boost up to like the third thing and stuff like that.
I mean, I've looked at a lot of pictures. I see some images.
It's kind of like Toy Story. Like if you wanted to walk around, yeah, it's kind of good. And if it ever goes on sale, and like if you're looking for a shooter, I'd recommend it. If you're just thinking like, hey, it's a good game, I'd like to try it sometime. If it ever goes on sale, I think you should put it on your wish list. And because I think it would be fun with friends. I'd love to have a Shack night where we play Hypercharged. Because
and not that like review scores matter, but I mean, it's got like a 9 out of 10 on Steam, and it's got.
Oh really? Wow! I did not look them up. I bought this game a month ago.
Let's see.
So
9 out of 10 on Steam, and 92% of Google users like it. 74 on Metacritic, which is a little bit lower, but I mean, still, that's a 74
for an indie game is pretty good.
Yeah.
That's not bad at all. I think it's pretty good. I think there's a lot there. A customization menu design could probably use a lot of work. Also, the game doesn't do a whole lot to like onboard you. Like there's no tutorial that's like, hey, here's what you need to do. Go find the batteries. Go get the power upgrades. Kind of just drops you in. It's like, here's how you shoot. Like, go figure it out. So some of that would have been nice, like a little campaign or a little tutorial level, that kind of walks you through like what to expect. The enemies get crazy for like the first 3 maps is like, oh, this game's easy. And then like these spinning tops started coming out, like helicopters, actual other enemies that start shooting back at you. Because at first, everything are like drones.
And it ramps it up a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. Every wave that gets better, it gets harder and harder and harder and harder. And it's fun. I like it.
I mean, it looks cool. I mean, it looks unique and different. So.
And like I said, we don't have very many shooters. On the platform. So this is a good one. I would recommend this more than Doom on Switch. On Switch, not on another console. Like, let's be clear.
Okay.
Because of the performance issues, I would recommend Hypercharge over Doom on Switch. That's how much I've enjoyed it. Like, if you ask me to rank my shooters, it's higher than that. So.
Very interesting.
What about you, good sir? What you up to?
Well, as I reported on the last show, I have defeated Cuphead. Yeah.
You should be proud of that.
Just another notch in the Jason Lacey belt of game.
Do they send you like a medal or something when you're done? Like they're like, do you hit like a server and they're like, somebody, let's get that medal out?
I think they do. I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
Was it worth it? I feel like the Thanos gif is here. Like.
I felt accomplished afterwards. There's certain games when you complete a level or do a thing, you feel good about it. Like when I finished what the base of what Celeste had to offer, I was like, you know what? I feel damn good about it.
I'm proud.
So with Cuphead, I kind of felt some of the same. Again, there was much of Jason Lacey beating his head against the wall, dying, restarting, over and over and over and over. And I'm pretty sure after we did Shack the one night, I stayed up and I played longer than I should, levels of that. But it was just a really fun experience. I by no means I think you can 3-star levels. I didn't 3-star any levels. I have no desire to 3-star levels. But if I go back and load up the game, it says 100% completion, and that makes me happy. And I don't have any desire to go back and do that again. But there were some very frustratingly hard things that I overcame with that game. But it was just cool, man. It was just a cool game, and I'm happy to say I did it. I'd like to try the co-op mode sometime just to see what that's like. If there's a sequel, I'd check that out as well.
I will not play co-op with you.
Because I'd be like, God dang it, Donnie, you're bringing me down. I can't carry you any further.
Can I join the other team? Can I beat up on Jason? I won! I did it!
Now, how would that be for a Cuphead multiplayer mode? One person gets to play as the boss?
That would get me back into Cuphead. I would like doing that. That would be fun.
How about Hollow Knight?
Why do you taunt me?
Donnie, I want you to take down. My goal for you is one day you're going to go back in. You're going to destroy that
Soul
Master.
It's done.
It's going to be awesome.
I've been broken. It's over.
But Cuphead, it was a great journey. I'm happy to say I completed it. Really cool. I didn't get all the achievements, but it's just interesting to see the achievements on the Switch and that whole thing. But yeah, great game. Runs great. Played great. I really enjoyed it.
Dude, Turkey just hit the chat, and I got really excited.
I haven't heard this scene from this guy in forever.
I know, right?
Here
Miss Turkey.
Here at the Shack.
I was like, whoa! It's cool.
Hold on, let me get a Streets of Rage. There we go. Just picked up that trash turkey. Jumping into my indie games after that I went on my splurging spree. Swords of Ditto was next on my list. So,
is that the Zelda game?
Yeah.
Okay.
Visuals, yeah. So like I shared some pictures after my first little bit, and like this is what if Cartoon Network made Link to the Past, it would be this game in somewhat gameplay and visual representation. The game doesn't play like Zelda. It's interesting. So it's technically an action RPG roguelike, because everything's got to be a roguelike now. So the whole story is there's this evil entity called Morma. It's like this evil sorceress, and she's destroying the land. So every 100 years, a chosen hero is incarnated, and they take up this sword and this magical, powerful entity, and they become the Sword of Ditto, when Ditto's the land that this all takes place in. And they're tasked with, once they take up the mantle, they have like 5 days to power up and eventually face Morma. And if the sword is successful or not, that determines the outcome of the next 100 years. So that's like the whole roguelike thing. And I guess when the game originally released, you had a running clock all the time before you had to fight the boss, and then it ended. They've patched and made updates. That's not there now unless you're playing on the harder difficulty. So you're just dropped in this world. You like wash up on a beach, much like Link's Awakening style, and you find out you're this chosen hero. And you just kind of explore the world. And as you level up based on killing enemies, and there's mystical items, which are toys, which are your weapons you get. Like I had a bow. It was a vinyl record, but it was essentially a boomerang, and other things like that you can find and unlock. And your whole goal, there's some quests that you can get from other characters, NPCs, but the whole goal is like, as you're going through, you want to get to level 5, because when you're at level 5, you can actually fight Morma. That's what will trigger the final encounter. But there's they refer to them as anchors throughout the land, and you want to destroy the anchors because that weakens the boss. So I played through the whole first session. I got to the boss. I went to the boss's castle or whatever, and then you have to climb like 6 floors, which were much more difficult than I expected. I got to the boss. There's a character that's very much like the Windfish that is there. It's a flying whale that you can worship and get some perks and bonuses from. But I died. I did not kill the boss, and then you die, and then when you die, you get to choose how many weapons or what select weapons you can unlock in your reroll, and then you reincarnate as a new Sword of Ditto, and it's 100 years later, and it all starts over again. And then the maps randomly generated again at that point. And I haven't played. You lose me at that point.
Every game does.
Yeah,
I hate that.
And I think that's the only way you can like beat the game is essentially you have to like new game plus it multiple times to complete it. And for what I read online, like the other characters, the NPCs in the world, like react to your failures or your success, and like the actual environment will either be a little more destroyed or better based on what happened in the previous generation. So I'm gonna keep playing it. I was a little like, I really enjoyed that first playthrough, and I was really hoping I was gonna kill Morma at that point just to see what happened. And when I lost, I was kind of deflated a little bit, and now I'm kind of like, I don't want to do everything all over again.
See,
I got it on sale, and the music is awesome. I love the graphics. The visuals are great. I mean, it's like Adventure Time Zelda. That's what it's like.
I got you. Yeah. When you said it, I knew what it was. I was like, yeah, I remember that. And I probably read something, and it was like, it resets. And I was like, nope. I appreciate that there are people out there that love this, and they harken back to a time before and all that. And it's like,
some people love those gameplay loops.
It's that and like the Souls stuff. Those are two paths I just... Like me and that gamer,
Dark Souls isn't for me.
Me and that gamer don't share thoughts, opinions. Like we were very different.
Did you ever play Rogue Legacy?
Yeah, yep, I did. I think Seth recommended it, and I played it on PS4. I think.
Yeah.
A couple years ago.
Yeah.
It was okay. You know,
I like that
still,
one. And
that one I wouldn't say I didn't like, but again, even like when it's good, it's not a game that I really like. I don't particularly enjoy that. I always, I hate losing progress. I feel like every time I do that, I feel like I'm wasting time.
Yeah.
And
like Dead Cells, as great as it is, it's really hard for me to play Dead Cells.
That's it. I have so much to play, so much that I want to play, that if I'm sitting there grinding, not going anywhere, it's like, well, now I'm losing time I could be spent progressing somewhere else. So if I'm not progressing, it just feels like a waste of time.
Yeah.
You know, like that's the ultimate like thing with me. I can't. I don't know. I don't have patience, or I don't know what the answer is. But
So I'll probably continue to muck around with that here and there, and then I have Grim Fandango, which I mean I've already played, but I'll play through it on Switch, and I'll just mess around with stuff until March. Really, I mean just kind of mess.
what's your
around with
March
whatever.
game? Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just kind of muck around until then, and then.
Are you getting
based on your
Doom?
No, I'm not going to get it right away because if I got it, I'd want to get it on PC, and depending on my home situation,
I gotcha.
I'm not going to have a PC set up. So
I think I'm the one Nintendo fan that's like more excited for Doom. Like everybody's like Animal Crossing, and I'm like, Doom Eternal.
dude, Doom's going to be amazing.
Doom looks so good.
I wish I had like if we weren't moving, I would scrap this PC. I'd have a brand new PC, and I'd have Doom ready to go because it would look awesome. You know,
I saw that it was a
60
tweet.
frames per second, 1080p, it'd be amazing.
It was a popular tweet being retweeted around about how everybody's excited for games and everybody wants to play Animal Crossing. I know Caroline shared, and I was like, yeah, I must be the one fan on Twitter with Nintendo in their account that was like, yeah, I'm gonna be playing a lot more Doom.
I'm disappointed I slept on Doom 2017. Is that when
good.
it came out?
16.
As long as I did because that was
Fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah,
It
it's
was awesome.
really good. So yeah, I'm stoked. I can't wait to play that. And then Ori is the other one I keep forgetting. Like Ori's going to drop at the same time. So I'm definitely buying. We'll be playing Animal Crossing the day it comes out. But I think the better way of putting this is I think like 2 weeks after launch, Rebecca and Caroline will have 100 hours in Animal Crossing. I'll have like 7.
And that's gonna be perfect. For me 'cause I'm probably not gonna be playing docked as much anymore because I won't have this station
Set up.
and I'll have like the TV, but I'm not
Go
gonna
get a
take-
light, man. Do it.
Maybe.
It's
Maybe.
so. I wish I could let you hold mine. Because if you just pick it up, you'd be like, I can't not play like this. It's
can't not play.
so good. So
And then lastly, based on your recommendation the other night, my wife was tired and she went to bed a little early, so I was like, I don't feel like playing anything. I'll watch something. And as I started going on, went through the regional channels and I ended up on Prime Video. And then I'm like, hey, Dottie recommended that Power of Glove.
Power of
So
Glove,
I
yeah.
watched Power
Did you
of
like it?
Glove. I did like it.
I told you. I thought you would, man. It's
I just
really
love-
good.
I love when they just show the old advertisements, though. It just takes me back all the nostalgia of that. And he's.
I was
told
like
you-
stunned at how they made that thing work. Like the whole breakdown
Yeah.
of how it worked and the transmits of signal, how they had to like make the games around it. And I probably said this last time I brought it up, but that poor guy, he was like, I had to code a way to control every NES game with the Power Glove. And I was like, talk about shoehorning a gimmick into a game.
Yeah.
Like they couldn't just have like 3 or 4 really great games. They made it work with everything that possibly came out.
And the fact that technology costs, the hardware costs so much more than what they had to make that Power Glove sell for.
Yep.
You know, totally forgot about that guy they talk about in the documentary. What's it, Triforce or whatever?
Yeah.
And I remember seeing him because he's always out, wearing the glove and
Standing in the line, waiting for the next
Yes.
thing. He's awesome.
Yes. Trash Turkey says he needs to watch that. I also recommend, Jeremy, you should check out Gaming Historian's Story of the Power Glove as well, because that's very good as well. It's probably like I'm not a big YouTube channel guy, but every time he has a video, always all over.
I don't think I've ever seen it, so you have to share it
Dude.
with me.
I will. He's got a little tangent here, but he's got a story of Tetris. Like that's a 30-minute video, was really good. His story of Punch Out's good. He just did one Super Mario Brothers 3. That was
That's
really
really
good.
cool.
I've loved that channel. He does a lot of great stuff. Norman Caruso is his name, and so good. But
Super Mario
Power
Bros. 3
Glove-
is was its birthday? Was it yesterday? Right.
I think so.
Speaking of birthdays, it's our 5-year anniversary, man.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
congratulations, you
Kevin
guys.
posted that. What do you mean, you guys? You're a part of it. You've been here since like the 2nd week. Why do you keep acting like you're not a part of it?
I haven't been active.
Do you
part of
have
it
a
since,
shirt?
Like 3 weeks ago.
Do you have a shirt?
Yeah.
Then
I
you're
can't
part of it.
wear because it's like 5 times too big for me.
But you're a part of it. Okay. Send it back. I'll get you another one. Like I got other shirts. I don't know how many smaller ones I have, but I've got 4 or 5
Power
more.
Glove was good, and then I went on a rabbit hole after that, and I'm like, what other gaming stuff do they have on here? So I just went through and what other people watch. I started adding other things to my watch.
Did you ever
list.
watch the sequel to Indie Game the movie? I
No,
thought about
but
renting
I've-
it,
I think,
but I don't know if it's any good. Like I want somebody to tell me like it's worth the money because it's
can't
not it's
remember.
not Prime. You've got to pay for it.
I can't remember if I have or not. I might have, but like Indie Game, like that first one was really good, and I don't know. It's so hard to
Right.
to replicate that.
Because
You
it
know,
was like at the time, indie games were like such a rage and everything. Now they're so commonplace.
And let's face it, just the Phil Fish content
Dude,
alone
what a
makes up for that movie. I mean, just
you're
the,
spot on.
his whole story. I feel so bad about what happened to him because, what a great game Fez is,
Yeah.
and just everything that, like, first of all, a lot of it's him.
I'm stunned we never. I'm sorry
Not
to
be
say
able
this.
pull back,
I
but
always said I'm stunned we never got Fez on 3DS. I feel like Fez in 3D makes a lot of sense,
that is
and I
sweet.
always thought that was going to be a thing. I was like, that would be awesome.
Dude, Reno, The Boys season 2, that's gonna be awesome. I'm all in on it.
Yes,
I love
you
The
guys
Boys.
got me
It's so
into that.
good.
I
It's
agree.
so
I liked
good.
it a lot. So you guys got me into that. But the other one that I liked, there's a few on there. I watched like a TV show that was like heavily produced and scripted. It was dumb. It was like an infomercial for like a video game college. Like, we'll teach you how to play games, and it was, I want to say, like some famous person's on it, like some tour guide. It's not like William Shatner or something, but something like that. There's like a celebrity who talks about it, and he goes around and meets everybody and talks to gaming. It's not very good.
There's I guess it's not really a documentary, but I guess it kind of is about the guy that wants to go around, and I talked about it on Flexpost too, who wants to go around and try to buy every single NES game, travels across the country.
Oh, that's cool.
That's on Prime Video. I can't remember what it is. It came out in 2018.
Is the,
but I added that based on it.
Is the Pac-Man one still? Or is it Donkey Kong? The guy that does Donkey Kong, and then the other guy that comes out?
Oh, King of Kong?
Something, but the guy that comes out and like...
A fistful of quarters, King of Kong. That was, I don't know if that's still on. That was, I think I watched that on Netflix.
That was like the most entertaining video game documentary
Dude,
I've
it's so
ever
good.
seen.
Because what's the
dude
dude's
is
name with
totally...
the dude with the USA tie and the hair? I can't.
He's
think
like a
of it.
Mario villain. Like, he's all
Yeah.
in black, and he comes
But
out,
you've
it's
seen
like...
the controversy that has come out since then. They said that he cheated. Like, he did his one high score he did on like an emulator.
Well, of course they did. Right when he released the video, like they couldn't, like they didn't have
Yeah.
screen of him playing it. It was
So
like all fuzzy, and it looked like it was.
They stripped him of his records, and now I think he's gone out and since then tried to like beat them. If you like that one, you should watch. There's another one that's about it's a snake game, same type of thing. A guy trying to beat a record, and like with that game though, he literally you have to play the game for like 24 hours straight.
I would imagine if you were going to try and go for the record in a game, you have to be monitored. You can't just like send in, because if I remember that documentary right, like he just sends a VHS tape to
Yes.
some tournament, and they're like, "Well,
Yeah.
he's got the record." It's like, what?
to what is it?
Like, we haven't learned from this. Like, you can't do that. If you're gonna go for the record, you have to be monitored by judges. You can't just do
what's
it
called?
whenever
Twin
you
Galaxies.
want.
That's the so it's Nintendo Quest was the one that I was mentioning. 30 days, 676 games, 10,000 miles.
That sounds like Caroline's
Um,
documentary.
Let's see. Best documentary similar to King of Kong. What the hell was it? It was like something. Oh gosh, I can't remember. It was on Netflix as well, but like literally, like you had to play that game for like 20 hours consecutively, and you eventually have to get a high enough score and so many extra lives where you can just let the game run and die, so you can go to the bathroom and etc. Because you can't pause it.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's crazy. You did remind me. I put those.
man.
I put those
Love,
LED,
love this stuff.
I put those LEDs behind my TVs.
Yes, the hues.
I've been flexing on Twitter. I've been posting. Oh, it's definitely not.
looks
No,
nice.
it's cheap. It is
you
not
make
the
me
Hue. Be clear, this is not the Hue light setup.
But it looks sweet though.
It looks so
You
good.
make me jelly that I don't have a TV to play my games on.
Do you guys
It
see the
looks
Wind
so
Waker
cool. Like, the
picture and the
Wind
whole
Waker
wall?
alone,
It's like,
the
oh
water
my
and the
god!
blue. Oh.
Here's the thing. It makes me want to replay Wind Waker, which I don't like ever really need an excuse for it.
I say, do you need incentive there?
But here's the thing: you can only play it. Like I can only play it at night now. Like now, seeing it, it's like, well, I can't play this in the daytime.
Play it during the day.
Can't play this in daytime anymore ever. Like what a waste.
Dude, you know what Doom will look like with that? It's so cool.
I was playing Zombie Army with Kevin the other night with it on, and it's so cool because it matches the colors of the screens like in 3 different places. And if you guys are wondering, it's called I don't know what it's called. If you message me in Discord, I'll send you the link on Amazon. But it was like $70, and it was very easy to set up. It's got a little app. You stick the LEDs to the back of the TV, you plug it into the wall, you connect it to your Bluetooth, and you can set it for all kinds of different stuff. And it really, lighting makes all of the world in difference in like everything, in video, in pictures, anything like that. It's so good. So very, and you know what? I was thinking, here's how good it was. I was thinking today when we were doing notes, and I was like, all right, so we're gonna play Kart next week. I was like, dang it, if I stream it, I can't play it on the TV with the lights. I gotta play it here at the terrible little desk. How awful is that?
You're a peasant again.
Ugh. Jason, hit me with some questions.
You want to go with some questions direct from you? Let's do it. Coming up, number 1, your favorite Nintendo game of all time and least favorite Nintendo game of all time. Explain why for both.
So the least, I haven't prepped for this, so I don't know. Usually I prep for questions
This
that
is
have
the first
answers.
I've seen
Yeah.
this question.
I don't know. My favorite Nintendo game of all time is Breath of the Wild. For 15 years it was Wind Waker, but now it's Breath of the Wild. Like I feel pretty strong in that it's Breath of the Wild. My least favorite Nintendo game of all time, that's harder.
Yeah, I don't. That's gonna be hard. Like, I'll jump in with my most favorite. I think I could make arguments here and there, but I think just because of how much it's consumed me, it has to be Smash Brothers Ultimate. I don't see how I could say anything different. Just because I love it. I don't have to argue any other way. Falco Lombardi's in it, and I get to play as him. End case. There you go. Yeah, least favorite is tougher because like
There's got to be an old game or something. There's got to be something that I just hated.
Are we gonna say is it a game that was published and created by Nintendo, or is it appeared on the
It's got
Nintendo
to be
system?
Nintendo game. Like I'm trying to Google stuff. I can't. I got nothing.
I can't think of anything on the Wii U.
It's got to
that
be
I
something like a
hated.
spin-off or something, like one of their little games. So,
That's tough. That is tough.
it is tough. Chibi Robo. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. I immediately think like Star Fox Zero. You know what's worse than Star Fox Zero?
Yeah, that could be one.
The Mario Tennis on Wii U, the Super Smash. That game's really not good either. It's like worse than the 3DS game. It's bad. But even then, like it's not so bad. It's not like terrible. It's just bad based off of what the series puts out there. It's terrible audio. What was
Devil's Turd?
that game? So I have that game on the hacked Wii U. Last week we talked about my hacked 3DS, and I didn't mention that I was playing Persona Q. Did you know that there was a Dead or Alive game on 3DS that I played? It's nuts. Here's the thing. It's really not that bad. Like I played, I was like, this is like it reminded me of like a PS2 Dead or Alive game or something like that. I was like, this is kind of nuts. So instead of having like cutscenes, the characters like freeze in game and they kind of like cinematically like pan the camera around while they like have like subtitle talks or something. But to be honest with you, it's not like it's not $40, but it's not awful. It's not bad.
God, I don't.
I wish I would have done some prep for this. What was the Animal Crossing game on Wii U? Like the board game one.
Oh, I know which one you're talking about. I can't think of the name of it.
Trying to look it up.
It's dumb. That's why you can't find
What is this? Shameless Amiibo Festival.
it. There they go.
Okay, that game was pretty bad. Like there were parts of it that I wanted to like about it because I've always liked the idea of an Animal Crossing spin-off for folks that aren't into like 200-hour life sims. But that game is like objectively not good. Like that's a 5 out of 10 if I've ever really seen one,
Like the only game that I regret purchasing in the past X number of years was on 3DS, and it wasn't Nintendo made. It was Square. It was a Square game, and it was that Final Fantasy Monster Hunter crossover piece of garbage.
I was gonna say, Wii Music is a really, really, really good one. That game is wolf. That game is bad. What do you think? All right, what about Triforce Heroes? So
I like Triforce.
So here's what I was gonna say. I was gonna say, what's your least favorite Zelda game? Doesn't have to mean it's bad, but what's your least favorite?
Zelda 2.
I never played that one.
Adventures of Link. I don't like that.
So I would say Majora's Mask.
I mean, I had a lot of fun with Triforce Heroes simply because I had a Discord server with people and we all played together.
And I played with my kids, and we had fun
did
with it
voice
too.
chat. So
My kids have never done a Zelda like dungeon, like played through one, except for in that one when we played together. So I like that one. Oh, I'm looking at a list here. By the way, I keep scrolling through. Hey, Listen, like the Hey Pikachu game. That was pretty.
Oh God.
That was pretty atrocious. I'm thankful though, like back then I got that out of like a clearance bin or something. So that's the thing is like when you pay $60 for a game, that's not good. Like it hurts more than when you pick it up for like $10.
Right.
So like I pre-ordered Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. That's why I was like, wait a minute, what's that Animal Crossing game? Because that one was bad. And like Home Designer wasn't like great, but Home Designer is like good. Amiibo Festival was like just bad. It's like a bad game. It's really hard to defend that game.
Insert random Kirby game. That's my answer.
Oh, don't do the Bobby thing. You be hating on Kirby. Kirby's good. I love Kirby games. There are some bad ones, so I agree with you. They're not all great, but like Epic Yarn, Planet Robobot, Dreamland.
I like the original.
Yeah, so I like Kirby games. I was trying to think. It's not like I didn't play a whole lot of them, so what I was going to say is like maybe some of like those Donkey Kong spin-off games.
Super Mario Brothers 2.
Like the Conga Beats or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
There you go.
Those are not like super...
What about Donkey Kong 64? I think that's a good popular one to hate
That's
on.
a good one. That's a good one. Because that one is kind of bad. That's good. All right.
All right. Let's move on. I've been eyeing Darksiders Genesis and hearing it's the prequel of the storyline. Should I start with this one? I never played any of them, but I have 1 through 3 on PlayStation. Also, how's the gameplay for this one coming up?
I've played half of this one. I think half. I played 8-9 chapters of it on Stadia. I did buy it on Switch. So like this is my ultimate like fond farewell to Stadia, is I'm actually re-buying a game that I already own just so I can play it somewhere else. That's when you know you're really over a platform. It's like, you know what? I have a game that I can play and I just don't want to. So I'm replaying. I'm rebuying it and I will replay Darksiders Genesis on Switch. All right. It is a prequel. It starts before War. War is a main character in the game, along with Strife. Strife is really cool. I think Devin, I've been saying this for a long time now, since I played it. I think Devin's going to like this a lot. Strife is like Deadpool or like Spider-Man. He's very acrobatic. He can flip around. He's got different guns. It's like a ranged attack type of guy. And he's also like really like suave and kind of smart aleck about it, right? Whereas War is like your big bruiser. He's your lumbering dude, big shield, build axe and stuff like that. Should you start here? No, I mean, because it is a Darksiders game. First and foremost, everybody that keeps saying Diablo, it is Diablo only in camera angle. Like, it doesn't play like a Diablo game. It still plays like Darksiders. It's a hack and slash like RPG, and you get which I know Diablo is too. But like in Diablo, right, you map your attacks. You can like hold your attack, and you just kind of like walk through waves of enemies. Keep doing that. Right. You can't do that in Darksiders. Like you've got to dodge, right? You've got to swap between different attacks and do that kind of stuff. It plays more like Darksiders, I might say. It just looks like Diablo from the camera angle, but it plays like a Darksiders game. If you ever played Darksiders 2 or Darksiders, it plays like Darksiders.
I've played 0 Darksiders.
Okay, it plays like Darksiders. So I have a hard time saying that you should start here. I don't think there's anything wrong starting here. Like if you wanted to play the trilogy, I would recommend that you play Genesis 1 and 2. I don't like Darksiders 3. I think Darksiders 3 is one of probably the bigger letdowns for me because I pre-ordered that game. I was so excited. I love Darksiders. And Darksiders 3 it's like they wanted it to be so grand and like they just didn't pull off like any of the polish on it. You know, like camera's bad, like combat's bad. It's, anyway, I don't want to hate on the game too much. Darksiders 2 is my favorite. Having not finished Genesis, I still think Darksiders 2 is my favorite. Darksiders 2 is like Twilight Princess. I mean, it's so Twilight Princess Zelda game. If you've never played Darksiders 2 and you like Zelda, because here's how I got introduced to Zelda, by the way. My old GameStop manager, which I've referenced, on the show over the years, he told me, he's like, you love Darksiders, or he's like, you love Zelda, right? And I was like, yeah, I was playing Twilight Princess HD at the time, talking about how great it is. He's like, have you ever played Darksiders? I was like, no, I didn't get into the stuff. He's like, you have to play this game. He actually gave me a copy. He's like, go play this game and come back and tell me what you think. And it's really, really good. It has like these little open world sections. You ride around on a little horse. It has these big castles. You climb up the walls and you jump off the things and you do these big attack boss battles and stuff like that. And it's kind of like, it's like a more action-y Zelda, like Twilight Princess. Not all Zeldas, Twilight Princess. Okay. So I really love Darksiders 2. And if you're interested, Switch listeners, I have Darksiders 2 and 1 War Mastered on Switch. Darksiders 2 is fantastic on Switch, actually. It looks great. Plays better than it did when I played it back on 360. So I'm sure it looks fantastic on PlayStation 4 and stuff too. But playing it on Switch, I was like, wow. Darksiders 2 on Switch is kind of cool because it's one of those games where you're playing in handheld and you're like, this is a pretty big, cool game to like have in a handheld. Like, even though it's old, You know, it's like Skyrim. It's like I can't believe I'm playing this in the palm of my. It's just
something. There's just something about it.
yeah. It's like it's because of its scale. It doesn't feel right. Like it's such a leap from 3DS. You're like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing a game like this. But Genesis, the gameplay is really, really good. You hop between the two characters. You can switch back and forth whenever you want. You can play co-op, which is what I always wanted. I always wanted me and Dev to play together. You can play co-op. One person plays War, the other person plays Strife. Like I said, Strife is more acrobatics. It's got flips, power-ups. He's got guns with different ammo. So like guns with like a big explosion shot and gun like little lasers and stuff like that. And then War is like the dude, right? He's got the big shield, he's got the big axe, he's in your haymaker.
Sure.
And you hop between these styles and then you use these. I think the thing that really makes it a Darksiders game is even though the view is Diablo, Darksiders is like I'm trying to say things that don't sound like Diablo, but every time I say them, it sounds like Diablo. Darksiders, like Twilight Princess, Darksiders always has like hidden chests on the wall or in the platform or the thing over here and things like that, right? And you got to use like special platforming, like you got to like hop to fly across to get on the thing to walk up the pipe and stuff like, like Zelda exploration kind of based platforming and stuff like that you don't really have in Diablo. I know Diablo has chests and stuff, but you can kind of just walk around. You know what I'm trying to say?
Sure.
Am I making that point? Because I feel like I'm saying it's not like Diablo, and then I feel like everything I'm saying sounds like Diablo. You get what I'm trying to say?
When I think of Diablo, it's just hack and slash.
You're not like hopping around levels and...
By exploration, you wander around a map till you find the exit point. There's not like...
Yeah. These levels have lots of verticality, lots of hidden things, lots of branching paths. It's a little different, which I think is more Darksiders. So if you're thinking Diablo and I'm going to play it, I still think you'll enjoy it because I do think that there's a lot of crossover there. But it's not Diablo, right? Not like the Battle Chasers game is like that's Diablo. This isn't not Diablo. It's Diablo-esque, but it's still Darksiders. It's more like 2D is not the right word. What is it, like 2.5D? Like that view?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like that Zelda kind of. But with like monsters and demons and guns and stuff. It's kind of like Spawn in like a way. But I really love Darksiders. I really, really do. And had this game launched day and date, I never would have gotten Stadia. The only reason I got in Stadia is because I love
Stadia.
Because I love Darksiders and they had early access. So I was like, you know what? I bought this controller. I got to buy a game. This should be the game I buy, right? Like this would be the one. And it's not even bad. Plays great. Plays great on Stadia. It just, over the weeks, nothing, no news, no games, nothing. I'm going to cancel my subscription and everything. I just don't want to play it there anymore. That's all it is. Just my resentment towards my entire purchase and everything, right? Sit there and look at the TV and I'm like, nope. Don't want to do this. So, I rebought it on Switch. But I'll have the trilogy on Switch now, which I think is cool. Like in my little cartridge case, I've got Genesis 1 and 2. And I hope they don't bring 3. 3 is kind of like it's not like Souls games, but I think it's more. I think they wanted it to be like that. It's definitely not that hard. Like I played it, it's not that hard. It is more challenging, like combat wise, but it's not. Darksiders 3 is not like the good challenge, or at least when I hear people talk about Bloodborne, they talk about like how excited they are, like when they lose to go back and like try and win. It's like a puzzle. It's a challenge. It's a game figuring out the boss. I never felt that way in Darksiders 3. It's just like you just get hit from all different angles. The camera doesn't like work right. You can't lock onto people. It just feels cheap.
That thing feels kind of broken a little bit.
It's like, like I don't feel like I got beat. Like I don't feel like I just feel like I need to like go hide in a corner and take everybody out instead of trying to beat everybody in open combat. What sucks is because Fury, probably like one of the best. Like Fury, the character was awesome shit, awesome skills. Like makes sense. She would have been great, but maybe they keep doing this Diablo Darksiders thing and maybe she comes back. I'd be open to that. That'd be cool.
We'll see. So, how many more questions do you want to hit tonight? I don't know
how long are we going? Oh God, we're an hour and a half.
Yeah, so
one more. Let's just do one more. Yeah. Let's do let's do the next one. Let's do Grouchies.
Next one. You want me to do Grouchies or do number 3? Because we got another one from Kaboski, and then we can.
Oh, I forgot that one. Let's do Grouchies. Number 4. We'll save Kaboski's for next one.
Nintendo decides to do more food amiibo, like the cereal box.
Yeah.
But this time they are teaming up with a fast food company. Okay. What products get the amiibo treatment, and how are they implemented in Breath of the Wild 2? Also, which food item gets its own Smash character?
What?
This
is such a focused question.
I mean, we gotta have, I guess, because I don't care for them that much, but Chick-fil-A, because Cuckoos, we're gonna get them in there somehow. So you're eating wild Cuckoos. Then the little container that they come in, that's your amiibo. It could be a little, I don't know what the box is gonna be.
So I was tracking there, not with the. So the Zelda thing throws my idea out the window, but I was like, we've got Paper Mario coming out. We're gonna have Paper Mario amiibo. You get to fold it, right? You get your little box or something,
like
your little thing.
Papercraft.
Yeah, and you fold your little amiibo, and it works. You put it on your controller, and it works. I thought that was cool. And then he said Zelda.
Yeah, it kind of throws it off for a loop.
Because I'm thinking if you're partnering with fast food on an amiibo, it has to be Mario. It can't be Zelda. It's got to be Mario. There's no other franchise. As much as I love Zelda, you can't put Zelda in Happy Meals and sell gangbusters.
We've had Mario Happy Meals. We had Mario Kart Happy Meals. We haven't had anything else.
Yep. So that's where I was thinking. I don't know what products get the amiibo. It's got to be something like cardboard, something buildable. Labo-inspired Happy Meal boxes, man. You just get the little boxes. What are you saying, oh God, for?
Build your VR helmet.
You need to get the VR. You need to get the VR and quit being such a hater.
So I can go like this.
It is weird that they didn't make a strap. It's really odd that you have to hold the whole thing.
If I'm going to get VR, if I'm building a new PC, I'm not going to get Labo VR, okay?
The Oculus Quest, man.
I'm going to be like Lucas so I can remove hearts with spears and all the other stuff.
It's so good. It's so good.
So,
did you listen to the VR cast that we did?
I thought, yeah.
PSVG Prime? Dude, that Saints and Sinners game, when you feel that screwdriver go into the zombie. Ugh. Oh, man, that's the power of VR. It's good stuff.
Which food item gets its own Smash character? That was the second part of the question. I don't even know how
what does that even mean? We have a milkshake and Smash? What?
This is what you get when you got the fat man in Vegas throwing questions at you, you know?
Like a chicken leg or something? I don't know what that... Yeah, is there a signature food? It's got to be a cheeseburger or a taco.
Ooh, taco. I would like a taco in Smash Bros, please.
It's like Piranha Plant. It's just Sakurai's
the wet burrito.
Taco.
Wet burrito final smash.
Oh.
I don't even know how to answer that.
Yeah.
Bless you, Grouchy Surge. Bless you.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Sign us off, Jason.
I get to sign us off. I get the pressure.
Please do the honors.
I have to do all the things. I don't even know how.
Do all the things.
What am I contractually obligated to say?
You have to do a thing. It's a thing.
That's a thing. Well, that's going to do it for Nintendo Shack this week. Thank you guys for joining us live on the show. Thank you for sending us questions. Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting everything we do, PSVG. Please check out the other shows on our amazing network of podcasts. We got all the content coming to you.
We got new shows coming.
We got DLC cranking out all the time. Please consider checking us out. Patreon.com/PSVG. But as always, thank you so much for listening. And please come back for more Nintendo Shack.
Good night, Kooplings. It's really good, Jason.
Thank you, sir.